You can go online to builtforboston.com and find my full education blueprint. But my blueprint is really built around a number of different things. One is really early childhood education, and that starts with pregnancy, frankly. It's about connecting the education system and the healthcare system, because in the first 5 years of life, it's the healthcare system that really provides the main connection for children and their families with the outside world, with what's an organization that can help them. So what I want to do is I want to be able to build the relationship between the healthcare system and education, and make sure that children and their parents that are interacting with the healthcare system know what it takes to make sure that their children are growing up healthy enough to be able to learn. And that doesn't happen all the time, because kids that grow up in poverty wind up typically with problems that the result of childhood episodes, problems that come from poverty. We call them adverse childhood experiences, oftentimes leading to toxic stress, which is an inhibitor of brain development. We need to deal with that, and the way to deal with that is through connecting healthcare and education. The second area, we need to make sure that all kids have access to early childhood education, because we know it works. Early childhood education is proven that if you have 2 years of good quality early childhood education, it can overcome a lot of the problems that happen in early childhood. So my guarantee is that I will implement a universal K-1 program so that everyone who needs K-1 has access to a K-1 seat. Third area, making sure that the schools have excellent leadership. We know that excellent leadership will result in greater success in the schools. And so I want to make sure every single school has an excellent principal that's able to lead a team of teachers, and that team of teachers will know what the metrics are for success and be able to achieve them and work together to make sure that they achieve them. We need to make sure that schools are autonomous, that they operate not without guidance, but that they are really responsible for their own achievement of success, and that they're accountable to the district and to the parents and to society at large, to make sure that we're doing a good job with education. Fourth area, we need to make sure that I would create a position called the Chief Service Officer in the city. And the Chief Service Officer would be responsible for making sure that we have enough volunteers within our school system and across the city, actually. So it's a center point of volunteerism and volunteer engagement with the city of Boston. And so if we're able to do that, then we should be able to guarantee that every child, especially in early primary grades, has access to a tutor to make sure that they learn to read on grade level by grade 3. Because grade 3 is the year that you wind up going from learning to read to reading to learn, and you've got to be able to know reading in order to be able to succeed beyond that. Lastly, I would like to make sure that our 11th and 12th grades are transformed into career academies. Now, a career academy is a joint venture essentially between the school and a business or other entities. Like, for instance, for the trades, it would probably be with the unions and developers and construction companies, where we train kids to get into a career of maybe become an electrician or a plumber. But we could also have them for music arts, for arts in general, for health careers, for electronics. There are great opportunities there. There are a couple of schools I'd love to mimic. One is the IT school in New York City, which produces kids that are capable of getting these great jobs in the technology field. And the other one is Worcester Wallczak, which has done great work in terms of making sure that there's lots of pathways to careers out of that school. I remember the elected school committee. I remember the effect that it had when there was so much corruption involved in it, and the indictments. And I also remember the fact that it was very destabilizing to the school system. And I'm not in favor of destabilizing anything. The school system needs to be stable in order to be able to succeed. And so I support the continuation of the appointed school committee. For the superintendent search, I'm looking for, well, first of all, I want the school committee to continue to develop the process for looking for the next superintendent, because we need to hit the ground running. So the next mayor of Boston needs to be able to to launch into a real search immediately upon taking office, or even actually before that, probably right after the election. That's going to be really important that we get a superintendent that's ready to achieve the goals. And one of the reasons why we don't want to hire one now is because we want the new superintendent to be aligned with the goals of the mayor regarding education policy. So I want somebody that's going to be deeply involved in early childhood education and career academies and creating volunteer corps of people to make sure that children read at grade level, and also choosing excellent principals and inspiring people who can be excellent principals to actually get involved. So that's the kind of person I'm looking for.